Ah, Beach.
Your whiskey, Mr. Go-Ahead.
Good man, Beach. But you happen to know where my sister is?
Lady Constance is in the drawing room, sir.
Alone?
Yes, sir. Soda, sir?
No, thank you, Beach. I think for what's ahead of me... Oh. Tell me, Beach, who was the chap who did the far, far better thing?
Sidney Carton going to the guillotine, sir.
Oh, well, always someone with more to lose, I suppose. No risk of my brother Clarence butting in, is there?
I think not, sir. His lordship is with the Empress.
Coast clear, your lordship?
Coast clear.
Commence the operation, your lordship.
Yes. Commence, Commence.
Look, I say, I wonder if I'm the right sort of chap.
Carmody.
Carmody, your lordship.
What?
My name is Carmody.
I don't care what your name is. Commence. How'd he do?
15 seconds, my lord. In my opinion, not good enough. They could have poisoned the pig by then.
You hear that, Right? Not good enough.
Huh?
Pilbeam knows, you see. Pilbeam is a...
Private investigator, my lord. Argus Inquiries Agency.
Oh.
I've hired him to watch for any move from Parslow. I'm telling you, the man would stop at nothing to get that gold medal. So, what do we call it?
Vigilance, my lord.
Vigilance, Bright. Understand?
There we are.
You cannot be vigilant lying down there.
No, we don't.
Where's Carbody?
Carmody, my lord. Hugo Carmody.
Good heavens, you fool! Come out of there! You could be infecting the Empress.
May I remind you, my lord, that I am supposed to be your secretary?
Doesn't stop you carrying germs. Pirbright, get him out of there.
I resign. Oh, I resign. I resign. I resign.
Never liked the fellow. Not sound on pig.
Good heavens, what's the matter with Hugo? He seems terribly upset.
I don't like the way that man smiles at you.
Oh, Ronnie, don't tell me you're jealous of Hugo.
I'm jealous of everyone. You know I am.
Well, you mustn't be. You did promise me you'd try.
I know. It's just that I love you so much, and I'm just so dashed short.
You're just the right height.
And pink.
My favourite colour. You're a precious little pink cherub, and I love you.
You really do?
Of course I do. But I wish you didn't have to go away. Oh, can't he find another best man?
Oh, I can't let old George down. It'll only be for one night.
I know. But I'm scared of this place. It's so big and old.
Yes, I suppose it is a fairly decent-sized old shack. I've never really given the thing much thought before. But there's nothing in it to scare anyone.
There's your Aunt Constance for a start.
Look, if Aunt Constance gives me any trouble while I'm away, you have my permission to punch her in the eye.
I cannot believe that your proposal is a serious one.
Yes, Connie, it is.
You really expect me to give my blessing to a marriage between my nephew and a chorus girl?
Sue is a very beautiful chorus girl.
Galahad, I am not a snob.
Oh, but Connie, you are.
I know my nephew's station in life, and I know hers. And never the twain can meet in matrimony.
Why not? After all, it was very nearly the twain of myself and Sue's mother. I don't want Ronnie to make the mistake I did.
You mean the mistake you would have made if you hadn't been shipped off to South Africa? In any way, your early life, or even later life, is not a model I could recommend others to follow.
Which brings us right back to my memoirs.
You really mean to publish that shameful book?
I have an advance from Mammoth Publications. They can't wait for the copies to roll off the press. You remember dear old Lady Wednesdale's opus, 60 Years Near the Knuckle in Mayfair? Over 100,000 copies that sold. Be chicken feed compared to this.
You realize we will lose every friend we have?
A small price to pay for giving the world a great work of literature.
Galahad, I appeal to your better nature.
Connie, I don't have one.
At the very least, you will agree to excise all mention of Sir Gregory Parslow.
Sir Gregory Parslow?
Yes.
He features in some of the juiciest bits. Let me read you about what happened after Buffy Bangler's party at the Club Bohemia in '92. Young Gregory, needless to say, was absolutely...
Do not wish to hear. At the next election, Sir Gregory is planning to stand as the Conservative and Unionist candidate.
Wouldn't put money on it. You'd best agree to my terms.
I cannot give this marriage my blessing.
They don't want your blessing. What Ronnie wants is his money. He can't marry without it. Clarence is his trustee. You have told Clarence not to pay up, and Clarence is afraid of you.
Afraid of me? Oh, I may influence Clarence in some ways. Yes, but only because he needs me to.
He needs you to let him give Ronnie the money.
If I do, you will agree not to publish the book.
For those two, I will make the supreme sacrifice.
I cannot speak for Ronald's mother. You realize that?
Speak for yourself. By the time Julia gets home, they will, with any luck, be spliced.
It's against my judgment, my beliefs, and my principles.
In other words, it's a deal.
Yes.
He can't do this to me. It's monstrous. He's taken the advance. He can't back out now.
He's returned the advance, Lord Tilbury.
I don't want the advance. I want the profits from the book. I want the public to have the book. Huh? He won't get away with this. The Honourable Galahad Threepwood will learn he's met his match. Authors do not get the better of me.
They certainly do not, Lord Tilbury.
Well, what else?
I have the new editions of our weekly papers, if you'd like to peruse them.
Tiny tots. That should soothe the jangled nerves. Read me Uncle Wogley's advice to his chicks.
Uncle Wogley to his chicks. Well, chickakiddies, how are you all? Minding what Nursie says and eating your spinach? Mm-hmm. This week, Uncle Wogley is going to put you onto a good thing. We all want to make a spot of easy money, don't we? Well, here's the lowdown, straight from the horse's mouth. All you've got to do is to get hold of some mug and lure him into betting that a quart whiskey bottle holds more than a quart of whiskey. Sounds rummy, what?
Who wrote this? Who wrote it?
Well, it's usually the Reverend Aubrey Selleck.
He wrote that?
Reverend Selleck is on holiday, Lord Tilbury. In his absence, Mr. Bodkin is deputising.
Who is it?
Monty Bodkin, my lord.
Come in, Bodkin.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nice day.
Never mind the day.
Righto.
Don't say right-ho.
Righto. I wondered if you'd had a chance to look at my Uncle Wogley.
A little of it. Perhaps you'd be good enough to read it to me. From there.
Righto. Oh, yes. Jolly clever, this. First you fill the bottle. This gives you your quart. Then you shove the cork in and turn the bottle upside down, and you'll find that there's a sort of bulging in part at the bottom. Well, slosh some whiskey into that, and there you are, because the bottle is now holding more than a quart, and you scoop the stakes. You're not worried about its not being accurate, because I had it on the highest authority from an old boy called Galahad Threepwood.
Galahad Threepwood?
Lord Emsworth's brother. Well, I can tell you, Galahad Threepwood was a great lad about the metropolis at one time, and you can rely absolutely...
What the devil do you mean, you imbecile? Putting that tripe in tiny tots.
You don't like it? Wrong tone, do you think?
Wrong tone? Mothers all over Britain are reading that balderdash to their children. You probably cost us 10,000 subscribers.
Yes, by Jove, I see what you mean. Could quite easily cause alarm and despondency. Well, I can only say I'm sorry.
You can not only say you're sorry, you can get to blazes out of my employ.
Well, that sounds like the SAG. Don't tell me what you're hinting at is the SAG.
Ouch! Haven't you gone yet?
The fact is that for private and personal reasons, I particularly wanted to hold on to this job for a year. Have you met a girl called Gertrude Butterwick? Well, I won't bother you with the whole story now, but unless I remain in your employment until the middle of next June, my life will be a blank, and all my hopes and dreams...
Get out!
Pip, Pip.
He got it from Galahad Threepwood. Well, I'm not beaten yet. If Threepwood thinks he's safe in Blanding's castle, he doesn't know Lord Tilbury.
Monty! Hugo, what brings you to these commercial parts?
Chasing a job, old chap. What brings you?
Just been chased from one.
You don't mean you had a job. You're rolling on the stuff.
That's got nothing to do with it. There are wheels within wheels. I'm off to the drones.
I'll join you.
Good-o. Did I hear you were at Blandings?
Yes, I was Lord Emsworth's secretary.
Been fired?
Resigned on account of the swine.
Oh, Lady Constant.
Not exactly, no.
I say, Hugo, when did you leave Blandings?
A couple of days ago.
I wonder if fate has just tapped my shoulder.
You don't mean you're going to apply for the job?
Oh, why shouldn't I? I'll telephone my Uncle Gregory, get him to put in a word.
Sir Gregory Parslow? Oh, I'd forget about that, Monty.
Well, he and Emsworth and neighbours used to get on like a house on fire.
Ah, how long since you've been there?
A few years, I suppose. What's blown up since then?
In one short and very repellent word, pigs.
More, Sir Gregory? More? Oh, yes, more. Much more.
Old Emsworth's in for a shock this year. This year, that gold medal will be mine.
More, per bright, more.
Me lad.
More.
Excuse me, my lord. Lady Constance requests that you would step up to the tree and have a word, my lord.
A word?
Yes, my lord.
What about?
Her ladyship did not confide in me, my lord.
Have I done anything, Beach?
Not to my knowledge, my lord.
And look at the bright side. I shall stand at the altar next to George and pick up some tips when you and I get married.
If we ever do.
Of course we will. Uncle Clarence has said I can have the money. What can possibly go wrong?
I don't know.
Well, then don't be so... You know, begins with an M.
Morbid.
Morbid. There's no need for it. Goodbye, Sue.
Goodbye, Ronnie.
Beg pardon. On watch. His lordship's orders.
Why did he smile at you?
Oh, Ronnie.
Sorry. I'm not jealous, I'm not.
Ronnie.
Oh, for goodness sake, Clarence. You're all pig.
What?
Well, look at you. And it's nearly lunchtime.
Oh, you mean I should wash my hands?
And your face. And change your clothes. And your shoes. Oh, you really are worse than a baby, you know.
Goodbye, Aunt Constance. Uncle Clarence.
Goodbye, Ronnie, dear.
Goodbye. Very sweet, that Smith girl.
Her name is Brown.
I remember her mother. Galahad took me to the Tivoli when she was singing there. A little bit of a thing in pink tights with the jolliest smile you ever saw. How did her song go? Tom, tim, tom, dee, tom. Oh, was it? Uppity, duppity, diddly, bong.
Never mind how it went. The only thing I have to say about Miss Brown's mother is that I wish she'd never had a daughter. Now, Clarence.
Yes, Connie.
I have some good news for you. I had a telephone call this morning from Sir Gregory Parsley.
The only possible good news from Parslow is that he has decided to run up the white flag and admit that the Empress is champion pig.
You are a perfect imbecile about Sir Gregory. He rang not about pigs, but about his nephew.
Nephew? What nephew?
Young Montague Bodkin.
Who?
Oh, you remember him?
No.
He was here often enough as a boy.
Oh.
Sir Gregory asked me, as a personal favour, to engage him as your new secretary.
Well, I'm dashed the nerve of the man.
And I said I'd be delighted.
What?
I said I'd be delighted.
You don't mean you've done it?
Certainly.
You're letting a nephew of Parslow's loose in Blandings Castle 2 weeks before the agricultural show?
He arrives tomorrow by the 2:45. Now, wash and brush up. It's time for lunch. Oh, Miss Brown, while Ron is away, you must make yourself at home. I believe in the servants' hall there are some gramophone records of music hall turns. I'm sure Beach would allow you to borrow them.
Oh, yes, I remember young Bodkin well.
He's Parslow's nephew.
Well, yes, but shouldn't have thought the sort of fellow to nobble a pig.
Well, believe me, I shall be watching him.
Oh, yes. Tell Purbright to lurk as well, disguised as a tree or a pale of potato peel.
Eh?
Clarence! I thought I told you to wash and change for lunch.
What a curse meals are. If people would only stick to drinking, doctors would very soon be out of business. Did I ever tell you about old Freddie Potts and the hedgehog?
Hedgehog?
Freddie Potts lived almost entirely on Scotch whisky. In the year 98, he was staying with his brother Eustace in France. Eustace was a teetotaler.
Look,
he had a very lazy chef who found a squashed hedgehog and served it up for lunch. Eustace, the teetotaler, turned Nile green and was on the danger list for a week. Old Freddie, on the other hand, being healthily pickled with alcohol, not only did he thrive on the dish, he had it served up cold the next day.
Clarence!
Monty Bodkin, no Bodkin shall get the better of a... Ah! Hello, Miss Smith. Excuse me. Must prepare for lunch. My sister, you know. See you at the... in there. Hope so.
Gally,
Sue, dear girl, join me.
did I hear the name Monty Bodkin?
Yes, Connie's engaged him as Clarence's secretary. He's coming here tomorrow.
Monty's coming here? Oh, Gally, what a mess.
My dear child, what's the matter?
Ronnie's the matter. You know how jealous he gets.
But where does Monty Bodkin come into it?
He'll drive Ronnie crazy. He'll come bouncing in and talk of old times and probably kiss me on the cheek. And he'll let it all out. That's Monty. He's bound to.
Sue, my dear girl, I'm stuck in the middle of a thick pea souper. Let what all out?
That I used to be engaged to him. Ronnie will never believe it's all over. Oh, Gally, you know what Ronnie's like. What am I going to do?
Ah. Don't forget the 2:45. It'll get you back here before Ronnie arrives from Norfolk. No one will ever know you've gone. Connie's lunching out today.
Thank you, Gally. You do get wonderful ideas.
Been in many a scrape myself. And don't fall for young Monty all over again, will you?
Don't be silly. We're just like old friends. Bye, Gally.
Bye, dear girl.
Bye.
Yes?
Blandings Castle?
Eh?
Blandings Castle.
You can't be. This is Blandings Castle.
What?
Eh?
May I speak with the Honourable Galahad Threepwood?
With Gally?
May I speak with him?
Yes, if you like. Don't have to ask me.
You do see, don't you, Monty, darling?
Monty, darling.
Monty?
Don't worry, Sue. When I get down to Blandings, we'll be perfect strangers. We must, I know.
It seems so rotten deceiving, Ronnie.
I've got to get used to that. A secret of a happy and successful marriage. But isn't life rummy? Here are you and I lunching together like the Dickens, just as if 2 years had never passed.
Well, they have passed.
Oh, I know. And all the time you're planning to get hitched to Ronnie Fish, while I am heart and soul in favour of an early union with Gertrude Butterwick.
What?
Butterwick. B for blister, U for ukulele.
Do you mean you're engaged, too?
Well, sort of on apro.
Oh, you mean she can't make up her mind?
Oh, she can, yes. Her father can't.
Why not?
Well, he's a very queer bird. The first thing he did when I asked for his daughter's hand was to ask me how I earned a living.
That must have been a bit of a shock.
It was. And a still greater one when he went on to add that the wedding bells would never ring out unless I got a job and held on to it for a year.
Oh, you poor lamb. How perfectly awful.
Ghastly. I couldn't believe the fellow was serious. He was. Well, somehow I've got to scoop her in. She's quite the angel, absolutely. Snag is, I've already had one full start. I made rather a bloomer in the Uncle Wogley department. So I've got to hold this Blandings job for a year.
No, I think you'll be able to.
Do you really?
Yes.
I gather the old boy's gone porcine. I've been reading up about pigs. I know all sorts of interesting facts by heart.
Well, then you'll have no trouble at all.
Oh, you've cheered me up, young Sue. You always did. You never failed to spot the bluebird. I don't want to hurry you, but my sands are running out a bit. My train goes at 2:45 pip Emma.
You're going to Blandings today? On the 2:45?
That's right.
But I'm going back on the 2:45.
Well, that's fine. We'll travel together.
But we mustn't.
Why not? Nobody's going to see us. I must nip back to the flat to pick up some things. We'll meet on the train. Pleasant chat to Market Blandings, cold aloofness from there on. Waiter! Laddish Yong.
So, Mr. Bodkin.
Lady Julia. Fancy running into you. Didn't I hear you were in Biarritz?
I was. I've come home. Sit down, Mr. Bodkin.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
So, where are you bound for, Mr. Bodkin?
What? Oh, Market Blandings. Lord Emsworth has taken me on as his secretary.
Really? I wasn't aware that you were in need of a position.
Oh, wheels within wheels.
Ah, how cosy.
I hear everything's much the same at Blandings.
Well, perhaps you consider much the same to be an earthquake, an upheaval, and a social cataclysm?
I beg your pardon?
My son is at Blandings, and with him a chorus girl by the name of Brown, who he proposes to marry.
No.
I assure you.
A chorus girl?
Named Sue Brown. You don't know her by any chance?
No. Oh, no, no.
At least that simple name, Sue Brown, doesn't sound like a girl who'll bring a breach of promise action when the thing is broken off.
Broken off? What? Are you thinking of breaking it off?
Oh, yes, of course. You seem very concerned.
No. It just occurred to me it might be a bit difficult. I mean, Ronnie's a very determined sort of chap.
He inherits it from his mother.
I should think Ronnie must be enjoying it at Blandings, Lady Julia.
I beg your pardon?
I say, I hope your son, Ronnie, must be enjoying the green countryside at Blandings. He likes it green.
I beg your pardon. Are you Lady Julia Fish?
I am.
My name's Sue Brown.
Well, well, well. Fancy that. Quite a coincidence, Mr. Bodkin.
Oh, quite. Most.
We were just talking about you, Miss Brown. And now, of course, I recognize you. Ronald did send me a photograph. Charming. So, I'm losing a son and gaining a daughter, and you're the daughter, eh?
Yes.
You did tell me you had not met Miss Brown?
Definitely not. Certainly not. Far from it. Not at all.
Well, you've met her now. Mr. Bodkin, Miss Brown.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Well, how very fortunate this is. Miss Brown, we have the journey. For you to tell me all about yourself.
There's something about a wedding. Puts a man in the mood.
A mood? For what, sir?
A wedding?
Oh.
Thank you all.
Hello, Ronnie.
Hello, Mother. Sort of thought you were in Biarritz.
I was, but I'm back. Would you like to come to the library for a little talk?
Isn't it time I dress for dinner?
I think that can wait.
I say, Lord Emsworth. Sorry I missed you when I arrived.
You're not the bishop?
No.
I thought the bishop was coming to dinner.
Is he?
Isn't he?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. You better ask my sister. So, who are you?
I'm Monty Bodkin, my lord.
Bodkin?
Your new secretary. Sir Gregory Parsley's nephew.
Parslow's nephew, you're him.
Oh, yes. And may I say, my lord, how very glad I am to be here. You may not know what a passion I have for pigs.
Ah! For pigs?
Oh, yes, indeed. For many years, my favourite pages of the treasured E.B.
What?
Encyclopaedia Britannica. I've been those devoted to P.I.G.
What?
Pig. As I'm sure you're aware, there are 13 breeds of pig recognised in Britain. The most popular and generally useful type is the large white, which fattens readily, producing an excellent bacon carcass.
Carcass? Carcass?
Carcass. That's it, isn't it? Carcass?
Carcass. Carcass.
Lemsworth.
Carcass!
I'm sure the old E.B. said carcass.
Good evening, Mr. Bodkin. A most pleasant evening. Might take a little fresh air before dinner. Mother! There are chorus girls and chorus girls. When you get one like Sue, there's a lot to be said for chorus girls.
No, Ronnie, there is not. They are all painted hussies.
They've got to paint.
Well, they needn't huss. How are you going to trust a girl who lives on excitement, kicking up her beastly legs, having affairs with every man that takes her fancy?
Not Sue.
Yes, Sue.
Wait till you meet her.
I have met her, thanks.
What?
She was in the train and introduced herself.
The train?
She was returning from London on the train.
I didn't know she got up to London.
So I imagine. Then you would not have known that she was lunching at the Berkeley with Monty Bodkin.
Monty Bodkin?
Lunching with Monty and ogling Monty and holding hands with Monty. And then when they were in the train, they had the effrontery to pretend they'd never met before. And now he's here as your uncle's secretary. Well, why do you think that is? She put him up to it. To be near her. Oh, this girl is just like all the rest of them. And, Ronnie, you're not a mental giant, I know. But if you can't see that, then you may certainly need to be certified. Constance?
Julia, how nice to have you home.
Carcass.
Clarence?
Carcass.
Clarence, where are you going?
Well, I just thought.
Not that pig. You're dressed for dinner. The bishop is coming, and Sir Gregory Parslow.
Parslow? You never mentioned Parslow?
Well, of course I did. You never listen to anything.
Parslow.
Clarence! Clarence!
Clarence.
What's that?
A paper clip.
A paper clip? Where's your other stud?
I lost it.
Well, you must have a spare.
Of course I have.
Well, where is it?
I swallowed it.
Well, borrow one.
Connie!
Connie!
I need to speak with you.
Thank you, Beach.
Oh, Beach.
Yes, my lord.
Have you such a thing as a spare paper clip?
Paper clip, my lord.
I mean, you know.
Of course, my lord. I'll fetch it at once.
Carcass, the little blighter, called the Empress a carcass, and Parslow's coming to dinner, for heaven's sake. What is it they say about a man's castle?
They say his sisters rule it, I'm afraid.
Eh?
What?
And you agreed to this?
I had to, Julia. We both have to.
I'm very sorry, Connie, but I certainly do not intend to buy Galahad off at the price of having Ronnie marry any Miss Browns.
You don't mean you're going to try and stop this marriage?
I most certainly am.
But, Julia, this book will alienate every friend we've got. They'll say we ought not to have allowed him to publish it.
Connie, as far as I'm concerned, he can publish it until he is blue in the face.
Bodkin! Monty Bodkin.
Gregory,
A word.
Oh.
Oh, Beach. I haven't seen Ronnie since he came back, have you?
Only briefly, miss. I believe he is still changing for dinner.
Oh. You don't know if he's spoken to his mother, do you?
I believe he has, miss.
Oh.
If I may say so, miss, I have known Mr. Ronald since he was a boy. Mr. Ronald has always had a mind of his own.
Don't know what I'd do without you, Beach.
I'm very flattered, miss. Have a cocktail.
Thank you, Beach.
Ah.
Oh, hello, Ronnie. Did the wedding go well?
Yes, I think so. Yes, it went very well. Thank you, Beach.
Sir?
I heard you met my mother on the train from London.
Yes, I popped up to do some shopping.
See. And on the train you also met up with Monty Bodkin.
Yes, Mr. Bodkin was on the train.
Nice chap, Monty.
Mm.
Known him for years.
Oh, really?
You never met him before?
No. No.
Shall we join the others?
Yes.
But she can't stop the marriage.
She will. I know Julia. She's entirely self-centered.
And he'll publish the book.
Oh, yes. I know Galahad. He will.
But they'll never adopt me as candidate. Not a man with a past. Never. As a conservative and unionist.
Oh, shh.
Who's that?
Pilbeam.
Pilbeam? The private investigator.
Do you know him?
Yes. Well, sort of. I employed him once.
What for?
Oh, a delicate matter.
Oh?
Some letters. Perfectly innocent, you understand. But the wrong construction might have been... Well, anyway, he retrieved them for me. Very clever chap.
Really?
I say, how many copies of this manuscript?
Only one.
You sure?
I'm sure. He's never really finished the horrible thing. He keeps it in his desk and takes it out and adds bits to it.
In his desk? Should be child's play for Pilbeam. I dare say, if I offered him £500...
I say, Lord Emsworth. Good morning, my lord.
Eh? Oh, it's you.
Right. I was wondering, your lordship, if there's anything you'd like me to do. Like, I suppose, secretarying.
No.
Oh. Just visiting.
say, that's a ripping chapter.
Excuse me, my man. How do I get to the castle?
However you choose, sir. However you choose.
164.
Ronnie! I say, Ronnie! I was just coming to see you.
Oh, really?
Need your advice, old chap. I came here as your uncle's secretary, but he won't give me anything to do. Just eyes me as if I ought to be in Sing Sing. Already I fear the Order of the Boot. Any ideas as to what I can do to try and warm him up a bit?
Sorry, Monty, no. You'll have to excuse me, I'm going out.
Hello?
Hello?
Do you want to go for a walk?
I'm going shopping. With Mother.
Hello, Miss Brown.
Hello? I hate all Shropshire.
Is it a Threepwood Inn, Mr. Galahad Threepwood?
Mr. Galahad, sir? What name shall I say?
Lord Tilbury.
Very good, my lord. If you will step this way, I fancy Mr. Galahad is in the nursery.
Just along here, my lord.
He must have stepped out, my lord. If you'll wait in here, I will endeavor to find him for you.
Thank you.
Aha! Oh. I know you, don't I? No, don't tell me. Let me think. Now, you're fatter, and you've aged. A lot. But you're someone I used to know. Now, let me think. Shorty Smith. No. Stumpy Whiting. No. I've got it, by gad. Stinker Pike. Pike, that's who you are, and we used to call you Stinker. Well, well, how are you, Stinker?
I would rather you refrain from using that name. I can't pretend I ever cared for it.
Well, all right. Pike, then. The last time I saw you must have been that night in Romano's when Plug Basham started throwing bread about and became rather overexcited, and suddenly there you were on the floor, laid out cold by a dashed great side of beef. I can see your face now, most amusing.
Yes, I really don't wish
Poor old Plug. A fellow who never knew where to stop.
Sweetwater,
I took the whole thing up with him, and he swore he'd never touch another drop. About 2 weeks later, I met him in the Strand. It's all right, Gally. I've done it. I've won the battle, he said. Amazing Plug, I said. Splendid fellow. Was it a terrific strain? It was at first, he said. In fact, I didn't think I'd be able to stick it out. And then suddenly, I discovered a teetotal drink, which was not only palatable, but appetizing. Absinthe, they call it.
Absinthe?
And now I've got that, I don't care if I never have another drink.
I'm not interested in your friend Basham.
I'm sorry. You've come on some most important errand, and I'm yarning away, wasting your time. Take a seat. Now tell me why you bobbed up again, Stinker.
Don't call me Stinker.
Sorry, I forgot. Now, we'll carry on, Pike.
And don't call me Pike. My name is Tilbury.
Going about under a false name, I don't like that. It never pays. Sooner or later, you're bound to be found out, and then you get it all the hotter from the judge. I remember saying that to Stiffy Vokes when he was sneaking about London, calling himself Orlando Maltravers.
I call myself Tilbury because in a recent honours list, I received a peerage. And Tilbury is the title I selected.
Oh, you're Lord Tilbury?
I am.
What on earth did they make you a lord for, Stinker?
I happen to be the proprietor of a concern whose name may be familiar to you. The Mammoth Publishing Company.
Mammoth?
Mammoth.
Aren't Mammoth the people I sold that book of mine to?
They are.
Stinker. I mean Pike. I mean Tilbury. I'm sorry about that. Let you down, haven't I? I see now why you've come. You want me to reconsider. Well, I'm afraid you've had your journey for nothing. I will not let that book be published.
Good heavens.
I can't argue. I won't do it. I have reasons.
Reasons?
Private and sentimental reasons.
It's outrageous. You've signed a contract. And you can't pretend that you're not in a position to deliver the book. It's here on your desk. Finished.
A book like that is never finished. I could add and refine for the rest of my life. Now then. For example, I see here I describe old Parslow as intoxicated. Not colourful enough. He was... pickled to the gills.
Oh, Shrewsbury, that is masterly. I beg you, on behalf of the English language.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry it can't be done. A masterpiece, but it can't be done.
But please.
Stinker, that's final.
Don't call me Stinker.
I will not publish. Awfully sorry, Stinker.
Are you sure I cannot order you a taxi, my lord? I'll walk. Pig. Beg your pardon, my lord? I smell pig.
Ah, yes. That will be the Empress of Blandings, my lord. The finest pig in the county.
I love pigs. What a pig.
Excuse me, my lord. My lord. The Empress has been attacked, my lord.
What? You lot! You! Let me out!
I say, that isn't Lord Tilbury by any chance.
Well, of course it's Lord Tilbury. Who the devil are you?
Bodkin. M. Monty Bodkin.
M. Monty?
Bodkin.
Bodkin?
You remember old Monty? What are you doing in there?
Well, somebody locked me in. Let me out, you blithering idiot.
Righto.
And don't say right-ho.
Righto. It takes a bit of shifting.
Come on.
I say, how did you get in there?
Somebody locked me in.
Who would want to do that?
Well, I don't know. I was standing over there feeding a potato to the pig.
You gave a spot to the poker? You'd be hung, drawn and quartered, old Emsworth. I think you were trying to poison it.
Huh?
Where is he? This way, my lad.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Oslow's man, it must be. Take the birch to him. The lash. The cat-o'-nine. Whatever it is.
Tails, my lord.
He's got me, Lord. You numbskull, Purbright. You didn't lock it. I did, my lord. I did.
Perhaps someone let him out, my lord.
I'll birch the man who did. I'll lash him. I'll cut her.
9 tails, my lord.
9? 9 and more. Many, many more.
Nothing here, my lord.
Where is he?
Not a trace, my lord.
What the devil are you doing here, Bodkin?
I'm Lord Emsworth's secretary.
Secretary?
24 hours after you're slinging me out. Good man isn't long getting snapped up.
You mean you're living at the castle?
For the nonce, I am. I don't mind telling you I expect to shake up shortly. So, if you're feeling that we might make a fresh start, let the dead past bury its dead, take me back into the fold, I could report for duty almost immediately.
You wish to return to my employ, hmm?
Definitely. And for a year, if possible.
A year?
Or 12 months.
You shall.
Good egg.
Provided.
Oh, golly, is there a cat?
We'll get that devil. Let's try over here.
Oh, my God. Come on.
What's the catch?
Galahad Sweetwood. There's a manuscript. I intend to take possession of it.
You don't mean pinch it?
Smoothly, yes.
How?
With the assistance of somebody living in the castle.
Let's try the ditch.
Excellent lurking place, my lord.
You want me to pinch it?
Precisely.
Lord love a duck. Oh.
Heavy weather, sir. I fear a storm.
Are you sure he was trying to steal the thing?
The papers were actually in his grasp, sir.
He couldn't have been looking for notepaper or something?
No, sir.
But what possible motive could the little perisher have for wanting to steal my book?
When Sir Gregory came to dinner, sir, I observed him talking to Mr. Pilbeam in a secluded corner of the hall. Mr. Pilbeam is a private investigator.
Give me the lowdown then, Beach. The motive, the method, and who done what.
Tonight.
But,
Tonight!
I see, Beach, I see. They're in it together, eh? And Pilbeam's their factotum. Sherlock himself would have to give you best speech.
Very kind of you to say so, sir.
Well, as Rabbi Burns said, The best laid schemes of mice and men gang aft agley, and they wee timorous beasties can whistle for their cheese.
Quite, sir.
All we have to do is to ensure the safety of the manuscript. I've got it. You must take it, Beach.
Me, sir?
Of course.
But Mr. Galahad...
What?
Suppose her ladyship discovered I had it and requested me to hand it to her.
You're not afraid of Lady Constance, are you, Beach?
Yes, I am, sir.
But how is she to know? She doesn't drop into your pantry for a chat, does she?
Certainly not, sir.
And at night you could sleep with it under your pillow. No risk of her coming to tuck you up in bed or anything, is there? No arguments, Beach. Take it. Be a man.
Excuse me,
I
sir.
see. Beach. Sorry. How stupid of me. Really, I'm most dreadfully.
Oh. Oh, I say, Beach.
Please do not worry yourself, sir. I'm sure the fault was mine. Shall I take that, sir?
I say, Beach, isn't this that new book of Mr. Galahad's?
Is it, sir?
Well, you can see it is. I mean... Pretty good, that, I should imagine. I think I'd very much like to read. Couldn't lend it to me, I suppose.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
You won't?
No, sir.
I'd give a good deal to read that thing, Beach.
Indeed, sir.
10 quid, in fact.
Indeed, sir.
Or rather, 20.
Indeed, sir.
And when I say 20, I mean, of course, 25.
I regret to say, sir, I am not in a position to fall in with your wishes.
What ho, Pilbeam? Bodkin? I say, Pilbeam. You're whatchamacallit, aren't you? Private eye.
I'm an investigator, Mr. Bodkin.
Topping. You in the mood for a bit of the stealthy stuff?
You wish to make use of my professional services?
Yes. It's about that book of Galley Threepwood's.
Oh?
I suppose you'll think I'm a silly ass, but I want to get a hold of it.
No doubt you have your reasons.
Oh, long story. Wheels within wheels. But I want that book, and Beach has got it. I expect you're used to pinching things.
I have occasionally been commissioned to recover articles of value.
Would you consider yourself commissioned now?
I would for a fee of £1,000.
1,000?
You be! And you! Whatever your name is! Come on! Come on! She's drowning!
Your way, Pilbeam! No! The other way!
This is my way!
Don't be a fool, man! That's his way!
It's his way!
In this case, she'll have to be moved if we can't keep her dry.
We're not keeping dry!
Who cares about you? Can I enter you for champion pig? The other way! Come on!
£25 for my book.
Yes, sir. I realize it's an unusual hour, sir, but may I beg to offer you a glass of port?
Well, thank you, Beach. I must say, you make yourself very comfortable in here.
I endeavour to, sir.
So you think Stinker Pike's involved?
It seems that Sir Gregory secured Mr. Bodkin a position on a journal known as Tiny Tots.
Just about his level, little toad. Chin Chin Beach. This is jolly good port, Beach.
Thank you, sir.
So you reckon Bodkin wants the book for Stinker so that blighter can publish it?
I fear that is so, sir. On top of which he knows I have the manuscript. Hence my request for you to examine my security.
You feel it would be safer somewhere else?
Considerably safer, sir. I did wonder if perhaps Mr. Ronald... Thank you, sir. Are you, feeling quite well, sir?
Yes, thank you, Beach.
Thank you, sir.
Beach.
Yes, sir.
Known me a long time, haven't you, Beach? Ever since I was a whippersnapper.
Yes, sir.
Many a sixpence you slipped me when I was flat.
It was my pleasure, sir.
What's your opinion of Miss Brown? Speak freely, please.
In my opinion, sir, Miss Brown is a girl in a million.
You really think so, Beach?
I do, sir.
Oh, thank you, Beach.
Thank you, sir.
She is a girl in a million. Oh, Sue. Poor old Monty. How could I even think? I mean, Monty. Monty!
Hello?
You're wet.
Yes.
By Jove, you are wet. Poor old Monty. Well, you mustn't stand around like that. It must be dashed uncomfortable.
Yes.
Not to say jolly bad for your health. You better go and change.
Yes.
Can't have you catching cold, old chap.
No.
Have a hot bath.
Right.
Oh, Ronnie.
Come in.
I don't know if you know this stuff. Rick's Golden Balm, embrocation. Rub it in, communicates a warm glow.
Dash good of you.
Not a bit.
Sure it isn't for horses?
Horses?
Some of these embrocations are. Rub it on before you've read the directions. Feel like you've been dipped in vitriol.
No, that stuff's all right. I use it myself.
Then have at it.
On your chest. There's something on your chest. It looks like Sue. Sue.
No. Not Sue. Not Sue. S-U-E. Sarah Ursula Ebbsmith.
What?
Sarah Ursula Ebbsmith, a girl I used to be engaged to. She died, pneumonia. Very sad. Don't let's talk about it.
Oh. Well. Bung-ho.
Phew. A dash near thing.
Oh, hello, Ronnie.
Hello.
You can't stay indoors on an afternoon like this. It's simply lovely out there.
Yes.
Let's go for a drive in your car.
I don't think I will, thanks.
Well, then, let's take a boat out on the lake.
Not for me, thanks.
Well, come for a walk.
Oh, for God's sake, let me alone! Sorry. You shouldn't have said that.
No, I'm glad you did. It's better to come right out with these things. I think we might as well just chuck it, don't you?
Just as you say.
All right.
Well, Mr. Bodkin, have you considered our proposition?
£1,000.
It's a set scale of fees.
Can I let you know?
Soon. I have other clients seeking my services.
Before dinner.
Right. Excuse me, Mr. Bodkin.
£1,000. Ronnie, here you are. Been looking for you.
Really, Monty? Well, here I am.
Tell me, old man, how do you stand with Beach?
With Beach?
Well, does he feel pretty feudal where you're concerned? Would he be inclined to stretch a point to oblige the young master?
What is all this bilge, Monty? Come to the point.
I'm coming to the point.
Well, be quick about it.
Good shot.
You are coming to the point.
Yes, right. Well, here's the nub and the gist. You know old Gally's written a book.
There was a young man of Bryn Mawr who carried his drinking too far. He said, I'll just have... Ah, young woman, I was looking for you. Always find this a depressing time of day, waiting for the cocktail hour. Did I ever tell you that story about old Puffy Benjer and the... What's the trouble?
Oh, Guy!
Oh.
Oh, God.
There.
So there it is. If I can get Beach to give me this manuscript, I can get a job with old Tilbury and be in position to marry the girl I love.
Sarah Ursula Ebbsmith.
Eh? Oh, no, not poor dear Sarah. No, she died. Tuberculosis. Very sad.
You told me it was pneumonia.
No, tuberculosis.
I see.
This is a new one. Girl named Gertrude Butterwick.
Gertrude Butterwick, eh?
That's right.
Fond of her?
My dear chap.
I suppose she's crazy about you.
Oh, deeply enamoured.
Of course. Why wouldn't she be? Why would she consider anyone else? Especially anyone so small and pink.
Eh?
You shall have her.
Really?
Beach hasn't got the manuscript. He gave it to me. You'll find it in the chest of drawers in my room and take the damn thing if you want it.
My dear old boy, how...
Go! Go now! Take your chance of the life and go!
Righto. Excuse me, Gally.
What's the matter with him? It doesn't matter. It's you I want to see.
Sorry, Gally, not in the mood for billiards. I'm just off.
Just off be damned. You stay here and listen to me. You may only go when I've knocked some sense into your dotty head.
Well, if you've got it, that's fine.
Sorry, old sleuth. Afraid it means you won't get your fee.
Oh, please, don't worry. I hope you've hidden it carefully.
Under the bed in my room, right up against the wall.
That should be fine.
Yes.
And what are you going to do with it?
I'm taking it down to the Emsworth Arms tonight, to a fellow by the name of Tilbury.
Not Lord Tilbury.
That's right. Do you know him?
Oh, no, of him. Now it all adds up. Lord Tilbury wants to publish the book.
Spot on.
I bet he'll give you a pretty big reward.
Oh, I'm not asking for money. He's promised me a job if I can get the manuscript for him.
You leaving here, then?
I expect the sack any moment. It was Tilbury locked in the potting shed. If old Emsworth knew it was me who flung wide the gates, he'd throw me out in a second.
Dare say you're right.
Galahad!
Where on earth are you taking me?
You still think Sue Brown loves Monty Bodkin?
The evidence I have convinces me she does.
Evidence. Precisely, Julia. Voila. Did you ever see a more devoted couple?
A young man can kiss a chorus girl. It does not mean he has to marry her.
Very well then, Julia. I have something to say which I fancy might interest you.
It isn't by any chance that if their marriage is stopped, you will publish your reminiscences?
It is.
Publish away.
Julia, one moment.
Well?
You are the relict of the late Major General Sir Miles Fish, CBE, late of the Brigade of Guards.
I have never denied it.
When Sir Miles married you, he was a respectable, even a stodgy colonel. When you first met him, you even thought him slow. Believe me, Julia, when I knew dear old Fishy Fish, while you were poisoning governors' lives, he was the reverse of slow. His jolly rapidity was the talk of London.
Galley, you haven't...
See chapters 3, 11, 16, 17, and 21. Especially 21. Excuse me, I have a little business with the young folks.
Excuse me, Lord Emsworth. May I have a word?
Oh, Gally, I think you're wonderful.
Careful, he'll be jealous of me next.
There's no need to rub it in.
Now hear this, you young poop.
He's not a poop.
Allow me to recognize a poop when I see one. You must guard that manuscript with your life.
Ah.
To lay their hands on it, your mother and Lady Constance would descend to the level of beasts of the field.
Uncle Gally.
Young Monty Bodkin is after it too, and Monty Bodkin is an A1 snake in the grass.
Uncle Gally.
He wants to give it to the publisher, Lord Tilbury, who I used to know as Stinker Pike.
Uncle Gally.
What is it? Bodkin? 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 Sorry, Beach. Have you seen Bodkin?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm not aware of Mr. Bodkin's whereabouts.
Thank you, Beach. Ah, there you are. You blood-stained Bodkin.
Oh, hello.
Never mind, oh, hello. I want that manuscript of mine, and I want it at once.
I haven't got your ballet manuscript.
Don't lie to me, young Bodkin.
I'm not lying to you. Pilbeam's got it.
Pilbeam?
I told the foul, double-crossing little blister where it was, and he went off and squealed to Lord Emsworth about me letting old Tilbury out of the potting shed. And Lord Emsworth sent for me and fired me, and while I was out of the way, being fired, he nipped up to my room and sneaked the thing.
Pilbeam.
Ah, Mr. Pilbeam. Lady Constance was asking for you. Her ladyship is in the drawing room.
I'll tell you what. Bring me a bottle of champagne first, then I'll look into the matter.
Champagne, sir?
Champagne.
It's all right, my beauty. As soon as she's settled, you repair that roof. We'll have you back in your boudoir before bedtime, you adorable girl.
Mr. Pilbeam. Now then, Mr. Pilbeam, about that book. I cannot understand what you have been doing all this time. Sir Gregory told me you were enterprising. You seem to have as much enterprise as a...
Slug.
Exactly. As a slug.
Less. I've known some quite nippy slugs. You've not even found out where the manuscript is.
Oh. Haven't I?
Well, where is it then? Has my brother given it to someone?
He gave it to Biche.
Biche? Biche?
I think he means beach.
Beach? I will see Beach at once.
Oh, a fat lot of good that's going to do you. A fat lot of good.
Forgive the personal question, Mr. Pilbeam, but are you slightly intoxicated?
A little, Blotter. I had a bottle of champagne on an empty stomach.
Are you interested in Mr. Pilbeam's stomach, Julia?
I'm not.
Let's wave your stomach, Mr. Pilbeam. Why would it do us a fat lot of good seeing Beach?
Because he hasn't got it. He gave it to Ronnie. Ronnie gave it to Monty Modkin. Pilbeam took it from Monty Modkin.
So you mean you have the manuscript?
Yes, Connie, I have.
Then in the name of goodness, where is it?
Now that's telling.
Mr. Pilbeam, I insist on knowing what you have done with it. Kindly let us have no more of this nonsense.
Oh. Oh, it's like that, is it? Now, let me tell you, Connie, that I don't like your tone.
Tone?
Tone! Being insulted. I got that manuscript in somewhere you won't find it. I was going to let you and Tilbury bid against each other for it, but now it's going to Tilbury.
Tilbury? Tilbury? You mean Galahad's publisher, Tilbury?
But I certainly don't mean Tilbury Docks.
You see, Connie? You see? It's always your tone.
My tone?
Oh.
I engaged him in good faith, you know.
You engaged him to steal my manuscript.
But not to give it to Tilbury.
We should never have trusted him when we saw that moustache.
Mr. Pilbeam.
Mr. Pilbeam!
I say, Pilbeam, old chap.
Have you got a headache?
Would you care for some bicarbonate?
Oh, this is nonsense. I'm going in.
Where is he?
Go!
The little slug has flown.
Now look here, Lord Tilbury. You're a fair man at heart.
Bodkin.
I say, Lord Tilbury, about that manuscript.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Chap called Pilbeam telephoned me. He's bringing it here.
Yes. The point I wish to make, Lord Tilbury, is that Mr. Pilbeam would not be in possession of it had I not had it first. Therefore, in fairness, it seems to me our agreement still holds. What do you say to that?
No.
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 You don't mean no?
I do.
You fat, double-crossing warthog.
Warthog?
She seemed happy when we moved her, didn't she?
Well, maybe not.
See, there she is, chomping away, happy as a pig. God bless my soul. What's that she's eating, Perbright? Can you see what she's eating? Perbright. It looks like paper. Great chunks of paper.
The vet! Get the vet!
The vet?
The Empress has eaten Galahad's book.
Galahad's book? The Empress has eaten Galahad's book.
Isn't it eaten all of it?
Do I not speak English, or are you all barking mad?
Eaten the book.
I'll be adopted as a Conservative candidate.
And I can stop Ronnie marrying that girl.
Oh, Clarence, what a clever pig.
Eaten the book?
Yes, I heard it from the vet. He was having a quick one when they phoned him from home. He had to rush up to the castle straight away.
Good Lord.
Though how a book could have got into a pigsty, I can't imagine. Excuse me. Yes, sir?
I'm looking for Lord Tilbury.
I believe his lordship's in the garden, sir.
Right.
I thought you were bringing the manuscript here.
Oh, no. Too risky. For safety's sake, I couldn't do that. But, of course, as soon as you write the cheque, I'll tell you where it's hidden.
Well, you surely don't expect me to pay before...
It's your choice. I have other customers. Take it or leave it.
I really think you might trust me.
£1,000.
Very well.
Make it a cash, if you don't mind.
Cash?
I can't imagine that you're afraid of pigs.
What on earth have pigs got to do with it? Pigs love me.
Oh, she's all right. The vet says it will do her no harm at all. Might even be beneficial roughage.
Pity she didn't eat Pilbeam as well.
Oh, I can't believe that would have suited her. That is clothes, you see, bound to contain...
Yes, Clarence. Now, come and sit down.
We'll let her rest here for a bit, then we'll take her back to her proper home.
Now, Clarence, we need to make absolutely sure that you are determined to be firm with Ronald.
Yes. Who?
Ronald. Ronald! Your nephew, Ronald!
Connie. Tone.
Now that the manuscript has been destroyed, there is no longer any reason for this unsuitable marriage to be tolerated. When Ronald asks you to release his money, you will, of course, refuse.
What?
Refuse.
Eh?
Refuse. Do you... Yes, Beach, what is it?
I beg your pardon, your ladyship, but there is a telephone call for Lord Emsworth.
For Clarence? Who is it?
A gentleman who describes himself as a friend.
Thank you.
Lord Emsworth?
Yes, Lord Emsworth speaking.
I've reason to believe, Lord Emsworth, that sometime this evening an attack is to be made upon your pig.
What?
An attack upon your pig.
This evening?
This evening.
What time this evening?
Any time now. Goodbye, Lord Emsworth.
No, don't.
Don't go! Oh, good heavens! Beach!
Clarence, what on earth's the matter?
Where's Parslow?
Sir Gregory left the house a little while ago. He wished to take a walk.
What?
And you must dress for dinner.
Beach!
You rang, my lord?
Beach!
And called, my lord?
Beach, there's not a moment to lose. I've just heard there's to be an attack on the Empress, and it's Parslow. Parslow, of course it is.
Oh, for goodness sake, Clarence.
Tell Pirbright to get out there and take a stout stick. If Parslow gives trouble, he's to thump him hard. Hard.
Clarence, are you out of your mind?
Bodkin. Bodkin, no. There's a cheque for £1,000 in there.
I know.
Bodkin!
I love you, Tootie. Toinky, Toinky. You sleep there, Chloe. There's a good girl. Your daddy find his manuscript.
You pay me £2,000.
Oh, I've got packets of money. I'm simply ill with the stuff. I'll write you a cheque now if you give me a job. I want to be an assistant detective.
You shall be.
For a year.
For £2,000. 5 years, 10 years, whatever you want.
A year, that's all. A job for a year.
It's yours.
Oh, glorious dawn. Oh, wondrous dreams fulfilled. Butterwick's her name. Gertrude Butterwick.
It wasn't Parslow.
No, no.
Same blighter you caught before.
My lord.
And you're sure he's locked up secure this time?
My lord.
Leave him there overnight, then hose him down and send for the constable.
Right, Connie, about this... Oh, hello, Pirbright.
Sir?
Now, Connie, about this marriage. I suppose you've been nagging and bullying poor old Clarence till he doesn't know where he is?
Not at all, Galahad. I'm sure Clarence understands perfectly well which is the right thing to do.
Clarence?
Clarence.
I want you to take a good look at this girl. What do you think of her?
Charming. Charming.
So does Ronnie get his money or doesn't he?
Ah. Connie seems to think...
Oh, damn Connie.
Galahad.
May I say something? It's only this. I'm awfully sorry to upset everyone, but Ronnie and I are motoring to London tonight, and we're going to get married tomorrow.
What?
We decided it was the best thing to do. Then we feel that everything will be all right. Oh, and Ronnie has the Empress in the dicky of his car.
What?
And what Ronnie thinks he'll do is take her joyriding.
Joy-riding?
All over England.
I don't believe it.
He thought you might not, so he's waiting in the drive.
Ronald! Ronald!
I'm afraid it's no good shouting at him.
Of course it isn't. What you want to do is give a formal promise before witnesses to cough up that money. Then you can write out a cheque for honeymoon expenses. Say, 1,000 or 2.
Then the Empress could go back to bed.
Clarence. Clarence, you are not to do this.
I certainly am going to do it.
Does this miserable pig mean more to you than your nephew's whole future?
Of course it does. Anyway, what's wrong with his future? He's going to marry this nice little girl. She'll look after him.
Bravely spoken, Clarence.
Oh, well, in that case...
Oh, don't go, Julia. Connie, sure you can't drag yourself away from a happy scene like this. Why, it's like that thing of Kipling's. How's it go now? We left them all in couples, dancing on the decks. We left the lovers loving and their parents signing cheques. Write clearly, Clarence. The date is June the 14th.
When?
What? Hello, Beach.
Mr. Galahad.
What have you been up to then?
I have been paying a visit to the sty, sir, to ascertain that the Empress had taken no harm from her disturbed evening.
Remorse, eh?
Sir.
Needed more than one to get that porker in the car. Don't worry, Beach. Your secret is safe with me. You have fought the good fight. I hope they kissed you.
The young lady did, sir.
Good night, Beach.
Good night, sir.
Let me out! Please! Someone let me out! Let me out!